Okay, let's talk about cross sections. So, a slice of any three-dimensional figure with a plane creates a cross section. So, when we slice a three-dimensional figure, here we have a cylinder and we slice it with a plane. So, a plane is a flat surface that continues forever, ever in both directions. Okay, and the shape it creates is the cross section. A cross section can be taken either parallel to the plane or perpendicular to the plane. Okay, so that's my parallel symbol and my perpendicular symbol. If you don't know those, you can write the word. So that's parallel or perpendicular, but the whole point of having these nice symbols, perpendicular, is so that we can write it more quickly. But they can also be taken at a diagonal. So we can cut parallel to the base, perpendicular to the base, or diagonal at a diagonal. Okay, if a shape is cut parallel to the base, then the cross section looks just like the base. If it's cut perpendicular to the base, we have to trace the shape that intersects the plane to see what the cross section looks like. Okay, so if we look at this picture, it's saying if we cut this cylinder in half, if we went sideways, the surface area we got would be just a circle. If you've ever cut a cake in half, a circular cake in half, you see that you still have a circle when you cut it in half when you're cutting parallel to the base. But here, they are cutting perpendicular to the base. They're going in at a right angle to the base, perpendicular to the base. What shape do we get? It says we have to trace the intersection of the plane and the shape to see what we get. Now, what shape did we get here? Probably not what you expected. We got a rectangle. We got a rectangle for the cross section. So the cross section is a rectangle when we cut there. Now, if the shape is cut diagonally, so I'm turning the word diagonal into an adjective. So if it's cut diagonally, the shape looks like a stretched out base. Now that's if it goes rim to rim, and we'll look at that when we look at some examples. So here it gives us a cylinder. So if we cut parallel to the base, we can see that plane going in parallel to the base. What shape is our cross section? It's a circle, just like the base. If we cut perpendicular to the base, we have to trace where the plane intersects our cylinder. And what do we get? We get a rectangle. We get a rectangle. Now, if we cut on the diagonal, they say it's a stretched out shape of the base. So here they would call that a stretched out circle. The name for that is actually an ellipse, and you'll learn more about ellipses when you do conic sections in pre-calculus. But for today, we're just fine to show the shape. It's that stretched out circle. Okay, then if we look at a cone, remember cones are like circular pyramids. Okay, so if we look at a cone and I cut parallel to the base, what shape do I get? I get a circle as my cross section. Okay. If I cut perpendicular to the base, I have to trace where the plane intersects the cone to see what shape I get. So if I trace where it intersects the cone, what did I get? I got a triangle. I got a triangle for my cross section. If I come through on the diagonal, I'll get another one of those stretched circles or elliptical shapes for the cross section. What about a rectangular prism? Well, if we cut parallel to the base, we're going to get the same shape as the base. So we're going to get a rectangle. If I cut perpendicular to the base, I have to trace the shape to see what I get. So I have to trace where the plane intersects the shape. And what did I get? I got a rectangle again. Not that exciting. Rectangle, rectangle. If I cut diagonally from edge to edge, here I also get a rectangle. It is a stretched out base, but it's still just another rectangle. So rectangular prisms, those gave us lots of different size rectangles. But were you surprised by the triangle on the cone? Maybe a little bit. Okay. And and that's what we have for you for notes today. There's a fun GeoGebra link to the calendar that explores cross sections. So if you follow that on the calendar link in Schoology, you can go to the website and you can explore different cross sections. There's a table of contents. You can pick the one you want to look at. If we want to do like cross section of a rectangular prism rather. Okay, that was a boring one. Let me go back. If we do, let's do pyramids. I want to do a pyramid. Oh, sorry, rectangular pyramid. There it is. So if I do a rectangular pyramid, let's look at it. Only adjust this top rotate on the horizontal. Right now the plane is parallel to the base, and we can see the dark orange cross section there is a rectangle because it's a rectangular prism, same pyramid, same as the base. But if I rotate that plane, we start to get it. We start to get a different shape. What shape is that on the diagonal? It's actually a trapezoid is what it looks like, okay? Because the top is narrower than the bottom, but they're parallel. And if we keep going, when I'm perpendicular to the base, I get a triangle cross section. And if I come out further, if it's no longer at the center, but still perpendicular to the base, I get a trapezoidal cross section there as well. So it's kind of fun to play and actually see the different shapes you get at the different angles of your cross section. From that nice, beautiful rectangle all the way to a triangle or somewhere in between with a trapezoid. Okay, so that's a fun website, and you can find that link on your calendar.